Perfect. Thank you. Hi, welcome everybody. If you do not want to be recorded on video, you can just keep yourself off of video. For everyone else, welcome. Actually, for everyone, welcome. My name is Jeanette, and I'm here to continue our part two of autism, ADD, ADHD, and really go a lot more in depth on detoxing. So I um, had a lot more questions that were sent to me about how to detox, because that is one of the big hurdles for for a lot of people's health, not just people that are on the spectrum, but for a lot of people in general. Let me see here. Uh, there was a study done, and I actually had someone on that was going to talk about it, but now I see that he is off here. So see if I can get him on the phone. Hello? Okay, sounds good. Or you can just put him on and I'll put it on speaker. It's pretty broken up. Send me a text when you guys hop on, okay? They're trying to get back on. I think they were just on. So anyway, he'll come in and talk about just how toxic people are, and in general that we're actually born really toxic. Toxic meaning a lot of environmental toxins. So I want to really go over how do we get rid of those toxins that build up in our body, right? So um one of the ways that we can help get rid of the toxins are some of the very, very most simple things is first of all, don't bring toxins into your household, right? So I remember when my son was diagnosed with severe autism when he was about 2 and he's 19 now. One of the doctors he was seeing spoke to me about, hey, you want to make sure that you're not bringing any toxins into the household, right? And if you have any of these things, they should be thrown away. And he would say things like, there's toxins like perfumes, colognes, um, even pollens in the air. Like if you're wearing or if you're bringing in a lot of flowers, even that can be some environmental trigger to the specific group of individuals that are more sensitive, right? He also was saying, don't bring things into your house like fingernail polish, and you should get rid of hairspray and anything that had any smell. And I remember thinking, hairspray, really? And the more I went along and kind of went through my whole house in a weekend, and my dad actually drove in and helped me kind of clean things out. We filled up almost an entire garbage can, like one of those big, gigantic garbage cans full of toxic stuff out of my house. And um, Ed and Sharon, are you guys there? I'm gonna try to unmute you here. We'll see if they can figure that out, or if maybe the other admin on here can help them figure that out. So anyway, we filled up this entire garbage can full of all of these different toxins from in the medicine cabinet, the colognes, the perfumes, the hairsprays, the lotion. I call them lotions, potions, all of the stuff, right? That we really don't need in our life, but a lot of us have them in our house. If it has a fragrance to it, and if it says fragrance on it, it's chemicals. So, oh, there's Ed Filet. Ed, can you tell me about that study you and I were speaking about a few minutes before the call, that the mega study?
Yeah, what I can tell you is there's an organization called it's the Medical Society Consortium, which represents 600,000 MDs in the United States. Our consensus is that 1 in 4 people in the United States are dying prematurely due to chemical exposure. That can be through many sources. Okay, and an excellent place to look at um, more about that is the Utah Physicians for a Healthy Environment. Look under air, just under air pollution, and you'll see a significant early death rate and all kinds of damage that these chemicals are doing to our bodies. And Jeanette and
Mhm.
Brittany, I sent you the links to those two organizations, the groups that represent the 600,000 physicians, like the American Medical Society, American Heart Association, American Lung,
Mhm.
almost every group that's out there. And then we
Okay.
have the website with Utah Physicians for a Healthy Environment. Dig around in there, and welcome to a very polluted planet.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, I asked him to come
Sure.
on. So Ed is my dad. A lot of you guys know that. He's a retired dentist. And he started doing some research and really, really, really dove into what are the environmental toxins out there and how are they really affecting our health. And as you just heard, some of the studies that he's come across, they have um, they've actually gone in and done studies on, it doesn't just affect our brains, it affects our heart, our lungs, our immune systems. So all of these different things, even down to what we're eating, right? So dyes for some people affect them much more than other people, which is why a lot of dyes are outlawed throughout Europe. Um, as a general rule of thumb, I tend to look at the European food guidelines and I kind of stick to those. So they're a much more healthy um, group of people than we are here, at least in America. So, all of that being said, how is it that some sometimes we know of these kids or adults who are on the spectrum and they're much more affected by toxins, right? And it might be their behaviors, right? There's a lot of these individuals that have behavioral issues. They might be hitting, they might not be sleeping, they might be ripping someone's hair out, they might be banging their head against a wall over and over. They might be standing on their heads. They might have really, really repetitive behaviors. A lot of these things, um, you can actually watch them go away. So I told you guys before, my daughter is 18 and she was diagnosed with something called PDD-NOS, persuasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified. It's on the autism spectrum. It's a diagnosis that they use for children who are autistic, typically before they're 2 years old. They do not diagnose kids with autism. They usually diagnose them with PDD-NOS. At the time, my daughter had lost her ability to speak. She was just, going along, doing her little babbling, her little talking, and then one day she just quit. And it looked like she was having the same issues that I noticed in my son. And that's when I realized, like, oh, I need to get her to the doctor. If he just was diagnosed with this, I don't even know what the correlation is yet, but she might have this too, right? Autism. And so the doctor I took her to explained it all to me. And anyway, my point being is that I watched her as we detoxed her and as we, did labs on her as we were detoxing her, her little eye flicks, when she would, I don't know if any of you guys have noticed someone on the spectrum that you're working with or taking care of or you're the parent of. They do these little some of them do these little eye flinches, like these little weird eye, like they're looking out of the corner of their eyes or their eyes are twitching and different things, maybe falling down, something that looks a lot like a seizure, their eyes rolling back. And one day she was just able to regain her speech and she went to completely nonverbal for a while and she just got better and she got better and better and better and to the point where she's typical. She's undiagnosed. She has no diagnosis of anywhere on the spectrum. So the point is that we can not always reverse autism, ADD, ADHD, but they can make progress. A lot of these individuals can make a lot of progress if they're given the right tools and the right things. So, uh, when we're talking about toxins, let's see here. I have a few very, very basic, simple things that you can do. Lemon oil, right? Lemon oil is something that is really simple to use. It's different than lemon juice. Lemon juice comes from inside of the lemon, and lemon oil comes from the outside rind, right? So lemon oil can actually go inside of our fat cells and dissolve and get rid of petrochemicals. So any of the plastics. And you might be wondering, well, I don't have any plastic, toxins from anywhere. We can get plastics from all over the place. Um, Plastics come from uh, plastic containers, plastics that are in our food, plastics that they spray on our food now. It's crazy all the different places that plastics come from at this point. So um, I do my best to store a lot of food at my house in glass. So it's something really easy to switch over. You can do it immediately or you can take your time in doing it, right? Like if you're using a lot of plastic stuff to store food in, just throw it away when it gets older and get, glassed containers. So, but our bodies will naturally grab toxins and store them in our fat cells, protecting our brain, protecting our organs. The problem with that is that at some point, they become so toxic, it's hard to continue to put more and more and more in those fat cells. And our bodies will do that for a really long time. It gives you really large fat cells, which most people don't want really fat cells, right? Most people want skinny fat cells. More importantly, we want healthy fat cells, right? Fat has a good function in our body, but it's important to have healthy fat cells. So lemon oil, 1 or 2 drops, once or twice a day. I put it in a big mug like this here. I always recommend if you're going to use oils, put them in stainless steel or put them in glass. You are not going to want to put lemon oil in a plastic water bottle because you will literally leach that plastic into your body. You can actually take lemon oil and drip it on styrofoam and watch it dissolve the styrofoam. Now, that being said, yes, it is safe to take internally. This is the brand that I use. It's called doTERRA. So, anyway, it's really, really good to use this oil. And I tend to go on and off with different oils. I never stay on any one oil for, more than 3 to 6 months. I kind of rotate through them. So lemon oil, 1 or 2 drops once a day, twice a day. Um, And you can even do it in like a little tiny shot glass before you go to bed at night. That way your body is naturally detoxing at night as you're resting. Another one, heavy metals. Most everybody has heavy metal toxicity. If it's through if you've ever been to a dental office and someone else was drilling silver fillings, or maybe you got one of those pretty silver fillings, right? That are not so pretty. They're actually over 50% mercury. So I don't know why they call them silver fillings, but they're over 50% mercury. And interesting enough, I think most people have seen Alice in Wonderland, and the Hatter in that movie, the guy that was the rabbit, I think it was a rabbit was making the hats. Anyway, um, he went kind of mad and kind of crazy, right? And even 200 years ago, people that were hatters, they were using mercury in the process of making that brim really stiff. And mercury is something that has been used in lab rats to make them go kind of crazy. Dentists who use a lot of mercury fillings, they're called silver fillings, amalgam fillings, which are 50% mercury or more, they have the highest suicide rate. Most dentists have a very high level of anxiety, depression. Out of any profession, they have the highest suicide rate. So if you're the daughter of a dentist, me, myself, or a grandchild of a dentist, of the mother, like myself, my dad was a dentist, my likelihood of having really high toxicity levels of mercury were really, really already high. Now, that being said, you can do something about that, right? You can detox. And this is a very easy, safe way to detox out that heavy metal poisoning. So, or toxicity. So frankincense, you don't even have to take a drop. You can just take your thumb on the roof of, or on the top of the lid. I mean, you want to open the lid actually, go like this and take your thumb like this. And you have a little bit of frankincense on the right. Put it all the way back on the roof of your mouth and rub it in really, really well. So I bring up the info about Mad Hatters, going kind of crazy and mad, and dentists having a lot of mental issues because heavy metals affect people in different ways, right? So if you are the mother or a grandmother of a child with autism, it's very, very likely that you have, and not always, it's just like it's more likely genetically and because of the heavy metal poisoning with how it passes from mother to child, it's likely that you yourself also need to be detoxing. And if you also struggle with anxiety or depression, um, it would be considered fairly normal. So I remember when I took my son in to get diagnosed, the doctor told me if I wanted to be a good mother, I should go get myself on some depressants and go see a psychiatrist and figure out how to cope with my kid being um, autistic and retarded. And that was a quote from him. So Jackson was diagnosed with and it would be considered intellectual disability at this point, not how he put it, and severe autism. So, Evelyn, I put 1 to 2 drops in my water, and then frankincense. So, up on the roof of the mouth, that actually gets into the brain uh, and helps detox the brain. So, that's why I put it up on the roof of the mouth. You can also take a drop and put it right underneath your tongue. A nice way to get oils into your system really quick or putting them right underneath your tongue. Another way that's easier on especially nonverbal individuals with autism is the bottom of their feet and then the back of the spine. If you're putting oils on children or anyone with sensitive skin, they should always be diluted. So the back of the spine is really good because your entire central nervous system comes together right at the back of the spine and the base of the neck, right back here. Right. So that's a really, really good place to put essential oils to have go throughout your entire body. So that's one place that I apply oils on my son quite a bit. So let's see here. Another oil, very easy to use again. And a lot of people on the autism spectrum really don't, they're opposed to different touches and tastes and smells. So this one is another one, cilantro oil. I tend to put it in a roller bottle and roll it on the bottom of my son's feet. I've taught him how to swallow capsules, and so I'll also put it just in a little veggie cap and have him swallow it. Cilantro oil also has an affinity for heavy metals. So cilantro oil is really good for detoxing heavy metals. And like we heard um, Ed saying earlier, that if you live in our world, basically, and he lives in Utah along the Wasatch Front, which is why he was saying go to this site that's in Utah because he studied a lot of the air there. Um, why are we looking at this? We have to clean out the air, the water. So another really, really good thing, not just with oils and not just with me saying, hey, get all the chemicals out of your house in general, but have an air purifier. Invest in a really good air purifier. Make sure your home has really clean air. A lot of people say our homes are more toxic than outside. So on nice days, open it up, let the air flow through. Don't bring toxic things inside of your house. If you're going to paint your fingernails, go outside and do it. Don't paint your fingernails inside. If you want to spray hairspray all over yourself, you probably should make sure it doesn't have a really strong smell to it because it could cause someone that you care about to have behavioral issues. I don't wear perfumes, colognes. I don't have any lotions that have any scent to them whatsoever, unless it's doTERRA, which is like an orange vanilla smell, which actually comes from oranges and the vanilla bean. So there's no fake chemicals like fragrances. Those Glade plugins or plugins right in the walls. doTERRA now has a plugin with an actual essential oil bottle, so you can just diffuse essential oils rather than something that's toxic. So, okay, let's keep going here. So it's important to make sure our houses are clean. Another thing that a lot of people on the spectrum have issues with is constipation. And I'm addressing this because if you're backed up and your body is not getting rid of the waste, that waste, the feces is sitting in there and it's putrefying. And just that in of itself is very toxic. All of the off gassing and everything that happens there. Your body should be eliminating after you eat. So if you just ate dinner, within 20, 30 minutes, you should be getting rid of lunch, right? In the bathroom. So unless you're eating something like steak and potatoes, something that's easier to digest, it should be coming out the next meal shortly thereafter. If you're not having 2 to 3 bowel movements a day, minimum one, you are most likely constipated. You're most likely full of crap, and you should be taking something to help get rid of that. So this product here, it's called Terrazyme. It's digestive enzymes. You can break it open. You can't really taste it. You can sprinkle it on food for kids that are really picky. I have seen a lot of moms put it in applesauce or pear sauce or in yogurt, oatmeal. Because I know a lot of our kiddos
Oh
have
no, I just
texture
Susan
issues.
shit just
So,
hey, then when I smoked it calmed me down. There,
Lara,
I
I
call
can
it
hear you.
Reagan.
There we go. So, let's see here. So the Terrazyme really helps go in and it's going to break down any waste that's sitting in there and that's solid that needs to come out. It's not going to give you diarrhea, anything like that, but the Terrazymes will help break things up. It is on a weekly basis, I get a call from somebody, a mom, that says, hey, my kid has really bad constipation. Hey, my kid was in the hospital again and we had to do another enema in the hospital, or this, or my kid was prescribed, Miralax or whatever it was, right? So Terrazymes will help get rid of the waste inside of the bowels. The way that you want to do it is take a capsule or 2 capsules, depending on how heavy the meal is. If it's steak and potatoes, 2 capsules. You can sprinkle it over food. You can put it in a baked potato. 2 capsules with a heavier meal or 1 capsule with a lighter meal. Make sure you're drinking a decent amount of water. And then before you go to bed at night, take 2 more because that will help get rid of anything in there that's clogging things up, right? It's kind of like when you have a clogged toilet, you have to use something to help get it through, right? So this would be that something that's going to help dissolve all of that waste and push it through. And it might take some consistency of using it, morning with your meals and at night. Every body, our physical bodies are different, and it depends on what we're eating. If you're really backed up and you're having a lot of dairy, that's going to constipate you even more. So just be aware of things like that. Let's see here. You don't want to start detoxing. I bring that up because you don't want to start detoxing if you're already backed up and you're not going to the restroom regularly. You don't want to start doing all of the detoxing stuff and have nowhere for all of those toxins to go but to get reabsorbed into the body, right? So if you're not having bowel movements minimum once a day, you're not ready to start detoxing. So another simple thing, um, vitamin C can also help you detox or help your bowels get moving. And you might need to take it 3 or 4 or 5 times a day until you get to the point where you almost have loose bowels and then back off just a little bit. And that might need to be something that you need to be consistent on for some time. So a few more things, then we're going to wrap it up here. Uh, let's see here. doTERRA also has something else, and it's called Zendrican. And there's the soft gels, and then there's the capsules. The capsules are an herbal blend. The soft gels are an essential oil blend. The Detox Complex is what it's called. That is the herbal blend that actually helps support your detox organs. It's going to help support your body in detoxing. The Zenderkin Detox Blend soft gels. So complex is the herbal blend that's going to help support your organs. And the soft gels, Zenderkin Detoxification Blend soft gels, the essential oil blend, that's going to actually help your body to detox. So again, before you do that, it's important that your bowels are moving and that you're not backed up. So the last thing I want to talk about here is something that's my own blend that I came up with. I don't even know how long ago, probably 10 or 12 or 15 years ago, maybe. It's probably 12 years ago, because I want to say I was with one of my really good friends and we were working on some stuff. So superfood minerals, this is something that I have for sale on my own website. It's called The Natural Cure. It's fulvic and humic acid, and it actually goes inside of the cell. And it doesn't just help detox on a cellular level, it also helps with something called cellular energy. So it's going to help your body on a cellular level produce more energy called ATP. And if your cells have more energy, you will have more energy to do all of the functions that your body needs to do. At some point, it will give you more energy. So if you're feeling like I'm a mom out there, I have so much stuff to do and I just can't keep up with it all and I need more energy, this will help your body get caught up. It will help clean out your cells. Same thing with your child or your adult child on the spectrum. It is going to help give them more cellular energy. And a lot of parents are like, oh my gosh, my kid has too much energy. I definitely don't want that. You do, and the reason why is because it's going to help their body to detox chemicals, to detox heavy metals. It's going to give their cells the energy to do what is necessary for them to have healthy functioning cells, right? On a cellular level, it's going to help them sleep better. There's a lot of people that say this has helped with seizures before. It's helped them sleep through the night. It's helped my kids sleep through the night. I get a lot of these different stories back. So one dropper in a little shot glass of water or in a big glass of water. If someone's over 125 pounds, I tend to say take 2 little droppers a day. It comes in 2 different sizes. So 2 ounce, 4 ounce. So if you want to just order the sample size, give it a try. You should really try it for 90 days because it takes time on a cellular level to kind of clean up our bodies. Detoxification, the older we are, the more toxic we have, the more toxins we've been exposed to, the longer it's going to take. And it's also a play with our genetics, right? If you have something and you know, like, oh, I have MTHFR and my body just doesn't detox very well, it's going to take you longer, right? So you can get it on my website. It's called thenaturalcure.com. So if you go to the little shop button on there, it's under there. So again, it's called Superfood Minerals. There's a superfood skin spray, which is really good for helping with eczema, psoriasis, any sort of a skin issue. So if anyone has any skin issues, because I know a lot of times our kiddos have allergies to all sorts of things. So that's really helpful for them as well. But the superfood minerals, this is what you're going to want to get. And again, it doesn't really have much of a taste. It is brown. So the liquid is brown. And I just put it in my water bottle because you don't even taste it. So I'll put it in there with lemon oil. Another thing that I didn't mention is I do like to switch up my citrus oils in my water because I like the different flavors. They each do something a little bit different. So it's important to do that. So, and I think we're about ready to end. Is there any questions that anyone wants to chat in there before we end? No? Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. I know that may have the list of the oil. The oils, oh, that I mentioned today, please. Yep. So if you're new to doTERRA, go to whoever invited you. If you came from my Facebook page, send me a message on Facebook and I'll send you a link. If you're new, if you order or over $150 worth, you get a free diffuser actually. So, but the list of oils, it was lemon, cilantro, frankincense, right? Lemon, cilantro, frankincense. And then the other products I mentioned, not just the oils, were Terrazymes, which help with the digestive system, making sure that you're not backed up and getting constipated. So your food is actually moving through you. And then the two Zenderkin products here. So the Zenderkin Complex, which is the herbal blend to help support the detox organs, and then the Zenderkin Blend soft gels, which is the oil, which help actually help detox you. And yes, they do have a Zenderkin oil as well that looks like this. I just didn't grab it off my shelf there. You can use that 100%. I just use this because it's easier to take a capsule for me than use an oil. So this is just an easier form for me. But if someone is not able to swallow something, then you can totally use the oil, put it on the bottom of the feet. So, and I use oils on the bottom of the feet again because they're absorbed into the bloodstream. If any of you are women out there and you're like, hey, my doctor has prescribed, a hormone blend for me, to be putting on the inside of my wrists, they can put a hormone cream right here on the inside of your wrists, and within 5 minutes, take your blood and your blood hormones have changed. That is how fast, if we put toxins on our skin, those toxins have entered our bloodstream. It is that quick. So I'm telling you, if you put oils on the bottom of the feet, they are most likely going to be in your bloodstream in under 5 minutes. So that's why I say very specifically bottom of the feet, also the back of the neck, back of the spine, which is your whole central nervous system. Frankincense does so much more than just help detox heavy metals. You can go back and listen to part 1. I talk a little bit about it there with ADD, ADHD, and on the spectrum in general. So a lot of times people can see once you're down this detoxification route, once you start doing this, cleaning up your house, so many behaviors will start to fall off. At least that's been my experience, and that's been my experience helping many, many, many other families do the exact same thing. So not everyone is going to have their child totally recover. So that's not what I'm saying, but a lot of these individuals can make progress. So, and if they can make progress, I think it's our obligation to help them live the best, highest functioning, happiest life possible. So I have found these oils, these different tools to be very, very helpful in helping those individuals make progress. So, um, yeah, I'll have it there. Where did you is it Sanita? Sanita, I can't say your last name, but um where did you come from? Are you a friend of my dad's? I'm just curious. Um, so if you signed up for this, you'll probably get the recording. We usually share it in our Facebook page. So yeah, but I'll share it. I'll send it out. I'll get your email address from him and I'll send it out. So I think that's it, everybody. If you have questions, you're welcome. If you're in our private Facebook group, you're welcome to ask questions in there, and I'll get in there in the next day or two and answer any questions. And if not, you can send me a Facebook message directly. I'm Jeanette Phyla on Facebook, so, or my other page is The Natural Cure. So I think that's it. Thanks you guys for being here tonight, and I hope you guys have a great one. Bye-bye.